Hi everyone, Jill Lancet, independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Australia. How's everybody? Well, today is the first day of spring. It's the 1st of September and the weather is lovely. The sun's shining. Everything's happening. Probably my hay fever will shortly follow. A couple of things. First of all, business out of the way. My online store is jillancet.stampinup.net. There you can go to my Facebook page, Instagram, Pinterest, all of those things. The September host code is this series of letters and numbers. That is for orders under $250. If you spend more than $250, you will actually get some rewards. So check that out. There's some things happening. Yesterday was the last day of celebration and it's over. It's done. It's gone. So if you missed out, I'm really sorry. But they have some new promotions happening that are starting today. The first one is Perfect Partners. Now, there are certain stamp sets that do not have matching dies in any catalogues. So for a limited time until the 30th of September or while stocks last, they have put out some matching dies and you can see those on my store. But I'll just show you these ones here. This beautiful Apple Harvest stamp set. Now, if you've already got the stamp set, you can buy the dies to match. If you don't have them, you can buy them as a bundle and save 10%. So you will need the bundle number here. Now, these dies are not in catalogues, as I said. So as far as you know, they don't exist except here. There's also this beautiful one, Fresh Cut Stem, the Fresh Cut Flowers stamp set, and the bundle includes the dies and the stamp sets. If you have the stamp sets already, you can buy the dies. They won't be available for very long. So that those two, there's this beautiful one here. It's called the Playful Piggies. It's called This Birthday Piggy. That's the stamp set. And the die set has heaps of things in there. There's so many things in there. It's got 18 dies in that stamp set. Now there's a tree trimming the tree stamp set and the tree trimming dies that will go with those. And there's 28 dies in that one. 28. So that's a lot of dies as well. And then we've got this Waterfall Canyon, which is like a scene stamp set. It now has matching die until the 30th of September, of course. And the Yeti to Party, it's called, the stamp set, and you can get the Yeti dies as well. So don't forget, there is a 10% discount if you buy the stamps and the dies at the same time. So that's one promotion that's happening on during September. Now this, I haven't got a very good flyer for this one. I just printed this out. During September, every week they will put out certain products that will be on sale. So it's kind of like the clearance rack, but not, if you know what I mean. So this week's specials that start from the 1st and last till the 7th of September are in my online store. Just go under specials and you'll see September specials. Click on that. It will show them much better than what I have here. But there's a die set. There's some paper there. There's another paper here down here, which is the linen paper. They are reduced, but go and have a look at them. These are beautiful. The brushed brass butterfly embellishments. They're beautiful. So have a look at those in my online store. Enough about that. Now I'm going to show you a technique. Now I'm calling this is coming under the heading of did you know you could do this? So I have everything here. I'm going to show you the card first. Might just turn that down. if you're not familiar with my videos, I live across the road from a school. I live on the corner of a main road. It's very, very noisy around here. And I like to pretend that that music will disguise any sounds of suburbia. Right, I live in a fantasy land, obviously. So here's the card that I made. And it's using the beautiful Happiness Abounds stamp set. I'm still really, really in love with this stamp set. I love roses, so that was a no-brainer for me. So we're going to use this stamp here, these leaves, and You Are Wonderful in Every Way. So it can be a generic card. Make this card, keep it in the stash, send it Mother's Day, birthday, anniversary, whatever. Excuse me. I am a lot better, but I still have a little bit of a cough. So, yeah, pardon me if I do that. Okay, so that's the stamp set. And the technique is this one here. And you might go, yeah, what's so great about that? But if you have a look at it, it's kind of like watercoloured. Now, I'm going to show you how I did that. Okay, first I'm going to go through the things that we need. I got these this week. I don't have any Stampin' Write markers. I never really used them, but I got these this last order, and I'm going to show you how to use them. I've only got these 5 colours. These are the 2022-24 in colours, and these are water-based, as opposed to the alcohol Stampin' Blends. So I'll show you that technique shortly. First of all, I have just cut a piece of very vanilla cardstock in half this way and scored it at 10.5. That makes this size card here. I think it's called C6, A6, not sure. But this size is actually a quarter of an A4 as it's folded. So the next piece we need is a piece of this beautiful Tea Boutique. Yeah, I'm still on this paper. There is so much of it. Oh, there's so much of it in the pack that, yeah, I want to use up every little piece of that. So I'm using the reverse side of this particular design here. It's quite plain. There is a little bit of a flower there, but it is in the Sweet Sorbet colour. And it is 11.4 by 7.6 centimetres. So I've cut that down. You'll get at least 2 out of your 6 by 6 piece of paper. You will have scraps left over. Then a piece of the Old Olive, which is 10.8 by 7 centimetres. And a piece of beautiful, I'm not sure if you're familiar with this. This is called the shimmery white cardstock. Now, I don't know if the camera's picking that up, but it's kind of got like Wink of Stella all through the paper, and it's both sides. So it's a really lovely piece of paper. But it's really good if you want to do kind of like a watercolour technique. And this is going to be a watercolour technique. And this piece is 10.4 by 6.6. So they're all the pieces we need there. I've got the beautiful glittered organdy ribbon. It's so lovely. I really love this one. It doesn't hide the design of the card, but it adds so much to it. So you don't always have to put embellishments on. If you've got something like this, you could class that as an embellishment, because the light just picks up those little pieces of glitter in the ribbon. So I'll show you how we do this technique, and I think it will come under the heading of Did You Know You Can Do This? So I have all the stamps mounted here, but I'm going to show you what I'm going to do. I'm taking this off and I'm turning it upside down. So this is the back of the stamp. This is the flat back of the stamp. Now you can do this with any of these clear photopolymer stamps. It's not an exact mirror image, but it's a nice alternative to watercolouring. So I'm going to show you how we did that. And we do it on the shimmery white. So I'll just show you how I got started. Now I don't have a yellow Stampin' Write marker. So I'm just going to use a dauber and some ink. And I'm just going to, because I can see the design of the stamp, and this is stained because the red inks will stain it. I'm just going to do some yellow in and around the centre of the stamp here. And I'm just daubing that on with the dauber. You may not even be able to see that. But I've gone out further than the little stamens, and there's a reason for that. So that's as quick and as simple as that is. With the Stampin' Write marker, I want the brush end, and I'm going to use it on the side, just like that. So I can kind of see where the yellow is. So I'm just going to colour in, the back of the stamp. And it doesn't have to be perfect because we're going to spritz this with some water, and it will spread the colour. So don't be afraid if there are white spots or no colour on some areas, it will just add to it. So pretty quickly just coloured that in. Make sure you put the lid back on there. And I'm going to spritz that. Now, you want to move things out of the way because this might spread some colour. So this is just water, H2O, and sort of from a bit of a, not like that, but about 8 to 10 inches away, I'm just going to lightly spritz. That's that. Now, I've got my shimmery white here. That's a bit wet. I might just turn that over. So I've got my shimmery white here. I've got my Stampin' Pierce mat there. You can see the ink is starting to pool on that. And I'm just going to stamp that down. Stamp it down this way. It doesn't really matter because we're actually effectively stamping the back. So push it down so that you can see the colour is mixing, and just hold that there just for a minute. Now, as I said, the shimmery white is more of a robust cardstock than our basic white or our very vanilla, and it really lends itself to the watercolouring techniques. So I've left that sit there for a couple of seconds, and I'm going to lift it off. Now, you're never going to get two the same. I'd be very surprised if you did. So I think I've left it there long enough, and I'm just going to lift that off. Now it's going to stick because the paper is sucking the water in on the ink in, okay? So just be careful when you pull it off. And we've got that beautiful pattern. I'll just hold that up a bit closer for you to see. Now we've got a little bit of white there. That's good. I quite like that. The yellow has blended with some of the sweet sorbet, and we've got this beautiful thing. Now, I'm just going to clean the back of this off with some paper towel. Excuse me. Because we need to turn this back over. I just want it to be dry so it sticks to the block. So we're going to turn this back over, and we're going to be using it again in a minute. But this needs to be totally dry before I do anything else to it. So I'm going to use the heat tool. Now there's two settings on here. There's 1 and 2. I only want it on 1 because I only want to dry that. So it does get a bit noisy, so just bear with me. It's not quite totally loud, but yeah, you can just gently dry that from the reverse side. You see it's starting to curl up. Can you see that? It's starting to curl up. So then I turn it over and I dry it from the other side, and it will straighten out. And I can keep doing that. I can keep turning it over. until it's dry. Now the reason it needs to be dry is I'm going to overstamp this with the Memento Black, and it's also like a water-based ink, so I don't want that to smear and smudge everywhere. So I think that's pretty dry now. So I'll just pop that over there. Okay, so the beauty of the photopolymer stamps is I can now see through this. So I'm going to ink it up with the Memento Black. Now, as I said, it is not going to be like an exact shape of what we've put on there, but it is going to be enough to make a beautiful flower. So I think I'll stamp it down there like that. And I'll just give it a second for the ink to grab. And then we'll do the rest of it. And we're going to do a little bit of masking as well, because I want to add some leaves and some splatters to this before I do anything else. So, pretty sure that's okay. Beautiful. Now, this is, as I said, it's kind of a loose watercolour finish. I don't mind that there's a bit of white there. No, don't mind that at all. Okay, so now I'll give that a second to dry. I've already got a mask cut out to use. This is our new masking paper, and it's really good. It's really very sticky. So the first thing I need to do is to de-stickify it. So it's got some protective paper on the back. Don't throw that out. You can keep that to put it back on when you're finished. Now it just peels off like that. Now I just want to de-stickify that. You can put it on your clothes, or you can just stick it on your skin. You can even stick it on some paper towel just to take the stickiness out of it. Right, so now I'm going to lay that over the top. Now bear with me, because I'm not directly above it. And I just want to pop that. Now, I cut this out by hand. You can't use the matching dies because the dies give you a bit of a halo. So I've cut it out by hand, fussy cut it, yes. I don't like fussy cutting very much, but anyway, I did it. And you just kind of go inside the lines just a little bit. Make it a very close cut so that when you stamp, you're not going to have this halo effect. So I'm just stamping the leaves in black, just the Memento Black. And I'll just pop up the card for a bit of reference. So I kind of want some leaves coming up here. Now, go off the edges. It kind of, I don't know, just gives it that arty look. Now, don't worry about that because this is our mask, don't forget. It's not going to show on that rose. And you'll see what I mean in a minute. So we'll just put another set of leaves coming out this way. And maybe a couple more there. And a couple more over here. Okay, so our leaves are done. And I want to put some splatter on here. So I'm using the blends. For a start, they're not going to make the Memento run. And they're easy. They're easy to make splatter. So I use two colours. I use the light granny apple green. And all I do is just flick. And you only need to do it gently. You don't want to wreck the tip of your marker. So I just do it gently. Now it's very, very light, this colour, so you may not even see it. After a couple of goes, you'll get a bit of an accumulation of ink in there, so you can, you know, utilise that as well. Now, go a bit out. We want that to go out a bit. We want it to go out this way a bit. You can probably see it much better now. I'll hold it up in a tick. Okay, so that's the light granny apple green. Next, I'm using the dark olive green, the dark old olive. And this is a stronger colour, so I don't want a lot of this. So I'm just going to do a few flicks. And this is why we left the mask on, because we don't want it to wreck the flower. This is just to give the illusion that there might be some more greenery around. That looks lovely. Okay, now, sometimes these masks are a bit tricky to get off, but I've discovered a bit of a trick. Heat gun to the rescue. On one again. Just lightly. Look, it's lifting itself up. Simple Simon. That's done. Didn't tear, didn't get wrecked. Put it back on the, if you can find it, put it back on the, there it is, on the backing piece, and you've got it to use over and over and over again. So doesn't our rose look beautiful? I mean, to be honest, it reminded me of a camellia. But anyway, there's that done. Now we want to stamp the sentiment again in black, just keeping in line with the black. So tuxedo memento black. Bear with me, I think my head might just happen to get in the way here. So I want to kind of keep it up into this top area here. Fingers crossed that's straight, because I really can't see what I'm doing. Just give that a second. Beautiful. And then we need our beautiful ribbon. So you don't need much. I don't wrap it right around. I just measure it and then stick it underneath. That way I'm not sort of wasting too much ribbon. And I usually pop on some Stamp and Seal when I'm not fighting with it. So just a little bit down there, a little bit down there. And I just want to catch the ribbon in that. So about there. See, you can still see the beautiful flower and all of your beautiful artwork through this lovely ribbon, but it just adds that little bit of sparkle to it as well. So now I made a tiny, tiny, tiny little bow. It's a very small bow. So it's a very nice ribbon to work with this. I do the rabbit ears. You do them however you make bows best. Of course, now I'm doing it on camera. It's not going to work. So just pull those two little ears through, and I want to keep it small. So there is a bit of pulling and pushing and a bit of fussing with it. So just bear with me for a sec. Of course, it probably won't turn out now that I've said that. Really is lovely ribbon to work with. So about that size. And I'll just clip that off, snip that off there, then I can muck around with it over here. Okay, so usually I grab the tails with these two fingers and yeah, just maneuver it, manipulate it, however you want to say it. Snip off the tails. So we've got this little bow, and it's pretty. It's really pretty. So now I can assemble it. So the first thing I want to do is adhere this to the green. Now it's a very, very small border. I really do prefer the liquid glue for this because, you know, you've got a little bit of room to move it. So there we go. Now, because this is a bit warped, because we did put a bit of water on it and then we heated it, you might need to sit that under something flat for a few minutes. So I'll pop that under, got an old block there for a minute. Then we're going to pop that onto our beautiful designer series paper. So we'll do that, and then we'll just pop that to the side for a second, because I'm going to pop that up on the Stampin' Dimensionals. So just to give this card a bit of a different look. And it will go through the mail. That won't be an issue. So I can pop that on there, make my little bow, and when that's dry, that'll be nice and flat. So I'll just get some a glue dot on this bow. Just determine which side looks prettier. Okay, I think that side. So I'm just going to pop this glue dot, and you can probably see it there. It's just there. Just pop that on there like that. Give it a good press. And I can use my take your pick, and then just pop it down where I want it. Now, because it's this like thin organza, hang on, I'll just tidy that up a bit. Because it's like this thin organza, organdy or organza, whatever you want to call it, that glue dot will actually hold both the bow and the ribbon down because it's kind of gauzy. And that's that. So now I'll just take the card blank and put some Stampin' Dimensionals on them. So I don't like them to be saggy, so I probably use more Stampin' Dimensionals than most people, or than you might, but still I like it to be secure. Now the Very Vanilla it's not exactly the same shade as the Shimmery White, but nor is the white. So it goes with both. It goes with both. But I really want to start using more Very Vanilla. I've kind of promised myself that I would try and use more Very Vanilla. I find that the watercolour paper goes better with the Very Vanilla. I mean, it goes with both as well. And if you've already got colours behind it, it's not a great drama. So now I'm going to put that on. I'm going to centre that up, I hope. I hope that looks about right. And I'm just going to pop that on there. And there we have, I think, a really nice card. I hope you've learned a new technique there. I hope that is new to you, and I hope you give it a go. But anyway, don't forget our September sales. We've got 2 at the moment. As I said, we've got the Perfect Partners, and we've got the weekly sales. So go and have a look at those. Don't miss out on any of those. And you can go to my store, which is jilllancet.stampinup.net, and you'll see those promotions there. Anyway, as I said, I hope you'll give that a go. I hope I've just shown you something that you didn't know. and I hope you give it a go. And it is quite easy. It's very, very easy, and I think it's very, very striking. So I'll see you on the next video. Thank you so much for your time. Bye.